Hi, it's Darnell with NuWave Oven Recipes, and today I just wanted to make a video to basically talk about why air fryers matter. I've seen a lot of, reports and some videos and some commentaries that try and put down air fryers and say, well, you don't need them, you could get along just fine with your regular old oven. And so I wanted to not only respond to that, but basically give more context and clarity to why air fryers matter, and if you don't have one, why you probably should think about getting one. So basically, one of the first things I wanted to mention is that air fryers, unlike a regular oven or stovetop, can be used more places. So like air fryers can be used in RVs, they can be used in boats, they can be used in some dorms if allowed. I wouldn't recommend you use them any place they're not allowed, but they are able to be used in more places, so they're more flexible than the big oven there, you know. And I've got a lot of notes that I'll be kind of just going through to reference so that I don't miss any of my points that I wanted to give you in this video. I also wanted to mention that air fryers, they all auto shut off. They all shut off automatically when they're done cooking. A lot of ovens and stovetops, and we're talking about the ones that are typically available in most homes in America. Most ovens are already set up in most homes. They don't do things like automatically shut off. They just keep cooking. So you're always going to get your food cooked right when you do it in something like an air fryer. Here I just have my favorites, and I like the air fryer oven styles of air fryers. So this is like the Power Air Fryer Oven Elite, which I use for any time I'm cooking, doing a whole lot of air frying or a whole lot of large batches of cooking. And this is my NuWave Bravo XL Smart Oven, which I use when I'm doing smaller batches of air frying, doing baking, doing cooks of all other types of sorts other than the air fry, or maybe like a large amount of grilling. This can also do a whole lot of grilling if I'm grilling a whole lot. But these are basically really good cookers. I like this one, the NuWave Bravo, the best. I also like the Power Air Fryer Oven Elite though. I'm also going to talk here about how these are easier to clean than the traditional oven and traditional cookers. Basically those old traditional cookers, you know, if you get them dirty, you know, you had to use like sometimes there were harsh abrasive cleaners that would only get stains off, and if they got stains they could cause a lot of smoke and a lot of issues. These are much easier to clean. They're smaller, they're easier to clean. They're the size of the food that you're going to cook and eat. You know, this is like excessively sized. You know, it's sized larger than you need, and so it's a whole lot more to deal with when cleaning if it gets splattered on and such. So these are easier to clean. That's another point. These air fryers and air fryer ovens, and this is more a convection toaster oven, but also an air fryer. And really, a lot of air fryers are really convection ovens, or spins on convection ovens in one way or another. But these can cook from frozen. Air fryers can cook from frozen. Convection toaster ovens cook from frozen. So it's a lot easier than using like the old ovens and things that don't do as good a job when you're cooking things directly from frozen. I mean, you can cook like chickens and parts of chickens from frozen, and that's real convenient for these types of cookers. Air fryers are usually going to cook things faster, although you can jerry-rig things in the ovens from what some folks say to try and make them function like an air fryer. Usually an air fryer is going to do pretty quick work on a lot of things that it cooks. It's not going to cook faster than a deep fryer when it comes to frying, but the reason you go with air frying instead of deep frying are more health related, to help a little bit with your health than to do the deep fat fry. So these usually do quicker than just like a regular oven with cooking a lot of things. So another benefit, you're easier cleaning, you're able to cook from frozen, you're able to cook things a lot faster. So a lot of benefit there. There's others like the NuWave oven can cook a whole turkey. You know, I've cooked whole turkeys from frozen. So another benefit of these types of alternative cookers to the traditional oven type cooker. Air fryers and these types of smaller cooking appliances, they don't emit as much heat as say a regular oven or even a regular stovetop. They don't emit much heat outside of them. They contain the heat in a bit better. so they don't heat up your house too much, like especially a traditional oven would, or conventional oven is going to, heat a lot of the room or a lot of the house, whereas these don't cause as much excess heat, so a bit more efficient in that regard. Air fryers use less energy than the traditional oven in most cases. They're going to use less energy, and so that's more saving in your pocket. I can't think of a better reason or rationale for getting something than it's going to save you money. It's going to, in time, pay you back better than a traditional type of oven. So, you can save money over time by using an air fryer to do your cooking, or convection toaster oven type of air fryer to do your cooking. Air fryers and these types of cookers are safer than your big giant oven. Because in one part, the auto shut-off feature, they're going to be safer. Although you can get a something like a big oven that has auto shut-off, it's going to, probably be something that you'd have to get new and get installed by installers. And this you can just carry home yourself, nice and easy, and it's safer because it has things like auto shut-off. Also, it has less excess heat than, as I also mentioned, but I didn't go into this part of the details of less excess heat from these. If you're like near one of these big ovens when they're cooking real hot and your kids are near them, if they put their hands too close, they could burn their hands with the door closed on these big ovens here. They could burn their hand pretty good. These, like the Power Air Fryer Oven Elite, the outside of it stays pretty cool. It probably be kind of warm in the front, but it stays pretty cool. Now this one, it gets a little hot around the door and such, but all the same, it's a smaller appliance, so there's less surface area to touch in the first place. Although the convection toaster ovens can get kind of hot, especially like in the front and such. They do have some parts that get hot. The top will get pretty warm, but still, it's not as bad, and I doubt you'd suffer as much injury if you got in contact with one of these as you would a traditional oven, given all the excess heat that it throws off. But all the same, you have to use caution. With even these types of smaller cookers, you have to use caution. It's just less area to get burned with is another benefit. Air fryers and these types of cookers do better management of smoke. As I mentioned, like you can get something stuck in one of these big ovens and it's hard to clean and it causes a lot of smoke. But just in general, with cooking foods, these types of cookers sometimes, usually the fans in them, are able to better manage the smoke, or better not have as much smoke. Like this Power Air Fryer Oven Elite, I can cook bacon in it at 400 degrees and it'll cook it up fine and won't cause any excess smoke coming out at all. So like regular ovens are going to definitely cause a lot more smoke when you're cooking at higher temperatures. This this convection toaster oven in particular does cause some smoke when you cook bacon at really high temperatures, but you can cook bacon at like 375 or so and get your bacon, or 350, and get it knocked out in here. But all the same, these overall cause less excess smoke and better manage things like smoke than a big oven does. So that's another reason that I like these cookers, and I'll say especially that's true for something like a Power Air Fryer Oven Elite. Does a really good job of preventing a lot of excess smoke when you're cooking at higher temperatures. Does a really good job. With air fryers and these newer convection toaster ovens, you're getting new smart features for less money. Although they make big conventional style or conventional size ovens that have some smart features, it costs you a whole lot more than if you get them in, say, a convection toaster oven or air fryer oven. You can get it for a lot less in these types of units and get all the new features and a lot of new technology. So you don't have to go out and put a whole bunch of money into a big investment to redo your kitchen, or get a whole big oven that has to get installed. This is a lot easier and convenient, and you get all the modern tech built in. Also, with these, if you want to upgrade, let's say while these have some nice tech in them, let's say some years down the line, there's some newer ones with newer tech that you want. It's a lot more easier and convenient to swap these out, and a lot less costly than if you wanted to swap out a big conventional oven. So lots of savings, lots of safety, lots of convenience. So there's a lot of good to getting a air fryer or convection toaster oven, one of these smaller type appliance cookers, than it is to stick with a big conventional type oven. As I said, you know, this was prompted. I was prompted to do this by all the stuff I see that speaks against air fryers, and I just want to say that I disagree with those points of view, and I found that these air fryers, convection toaster oven type cookers and things are just a lot better, a lot easier to manage, a lot easier to use, and just a lot more fun to use even. These are so easy to use that my kids can more easily use these than use like a big conventional oven to do cooking and to learn cooking. So it's a lot easier to just teach kids things like cooking when you're using these smaller appliances that are easier to manage and handle. So I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I have a lot of recipes for these types of cookers at superwaveovenrecipes.com. If you ever want to get directly to this YouTube channel, you can get here by waveovenrecipes.com, on Twitter and Instagram at waveovenrecipes. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Share the video with a friend. As I said, I'd like to hear what you have to say, so leave your comments. Subscribe to the channel, and good eating.